So I would first like to, of course, thank our audiences, welcome these two very wonderful panelists. So we are setting the tone for the role that brand building and gaming together can play for the larger marketing and business ecosystem. I have got two awesome people because they totally understand what goes inside both of their platforms, whether it is Adcolony. Of course, Adcolony has a larger play in ad tech, mobile ad experiences being a core part of it, including gaming. But Anzu, and I'm hoping I pronounced that right. Did I, Itamar, both of it?
Yes, that's correct.
Itamar and Anzu. Okay, perfect. Anzu provides advanced in-game advertising solution across platforms. They blend ads into video games, esports, live streams, what have you. Hence, I am not going to delay this any further. I'm directly going to get into our first question, which is the best fit. What I'm trying to understand over here is it's almost been 5 years since I've been writing about gamification in branding and advertising. We still are not seeing it as a brand building platform. That's yet to happen. I want to understand from you, from both of your experiences, all the brands that you have worked on, which are the sectors or which are the marketing objectives where gamification or being in game is one of your best solutions. Tom, do you want to pick up that? And then we go after this young gentleman.
Yeah, I can jump in and talk a little bit about the stats in India. So, I mean, you've got around 600 million online in India, and there's about 500 million consumers who play games, mostly on their mobile devices. So, I mean, it's 85% reach of the market. So I think that really, I mean, if you're a brand advertiser, that provides a big clue that actually, you know, the use of gaming is the same way that you might use TV or OTT or social media, in that you've got almost complete market reach. You can reach any audience via gaming. So we see the big advertisers, big FMCGs, handset manufacturers tend to be the companies that are using gaming, and they're delivering messages at scale against that huge audience, and, you know, trying to drive all sorts of objectives from brand awareness, brand love to purchase, whether in an offline world, and we do plenty of tracking looking at the brand results, so increases in brand awareness, footfall. We've actually driven people to stores and they've bought a product, or even, you know, driving results in e-commerce. They're trying to sell products online. So all types of objectives, but big advertisers are coming into gaming and spending at scale.
I already have my counter to him, but Itamar, do you want to add to what he's saying, or should I just pose my counter question to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll add a few words. So, I mean, almost every brand in the world has an overlap with the gaming audience. Some of it sits in mobile, some of it sits in PC and console. So the opportunity to communicate with the target audience is there in gaming. Number two, from a contextual relevancy perspective, there are a lot of types of games, and every brand can find the right narrative and game graphics to fit that brand. So if it's a sport game, a shooter game, a casual game. So I would say that every brand in the world has an opportunity, a big opportunity with gaming, and those brands that find the right partners, like partnering with Tom and Adcolony, those brands who maybe have gamers in their teams and get gaming more, those brands who are more innovative and are trying new things, these brands will be the ones who will benefit more. All the brands start from an equal opportunity, and those who realize faster the market and the opportunity will benefit from it. It reminds me 10 years ago when Facebook became an important part of the advertising mix of every brand. It was very clear that every brand has an opportunity there. Those who invest more will benefit from it first.
All right, perfect. I'm glad you said FB and I'm glad you said FMCG, and I'll tell you why. Both of you come from varied backgrounds. You know, I think it's media quark and ambient in the case of Tom. And of course, Itamar now, he's a founder. However, you have worked with Glispa, Sport.com. You know that one of the toughest nuts to crack in this ecosystem is the advertiser. All the briefs are as of yesterday. Every budget is already higher than what you deserved, and everything must give you an incremental return. Now, that's their starting point. In context to that, in gaming, there is a time lag. There's a certain investment. Now, if you gave the example of Facebook, Facebook actually picked up with the advertisers because they got the numbers. The turnaround time was really fast. The starting point was anywhere even between $10 to get your ad on Facebook. Now, none of these really qualify for a large scale gaming solution right now. FMCG, will they really consider a gaming platform when they could have done the same thing on a faster medium, which is digital? It could be OTT or any of the other ones, engaging a new set of audiences. So I want to now get down to the challenges. There are clearly challenges that gaming per se is facing. How are you seeing the needle move? What are the green shoots, the good points that allow for brand loyalty to happen? Either of you can take it. If I do Tom, it'll be death by panel. It'll be 1-2, 1-2. I'll be the school teacher. So yeah,
Oh,
never go for it. Yes, we're not in class.
Itamar, are you going to take this one first? Come on, you should
No.
first.
Okay. Of course. I mean, so two different maybe topics I can give a high level point of view, and then we can further discuss in next conversations. Number one, gaming by nature is a really strong media for return on investment, because there is very little fraud when you're integrated into the game engine directly, because there's high level of attention when you're playing a game and there is no second screen like when you watch TV, and because viewability is very strong in a 3D environment, and because there is those harder to reach audiences that are not watching less TV, and it's harder and harder to find them. So high level gaming has all the metrics and all the ingredients to be a very important platform. Number one. Number two, the other side of it is around the differentiation between awareness and brand dollars versus performance and hard KPIs. And I think here there's also two ways to look at it. There is activation happening inside the game, and there's activation happening outside of the game. So inside of the game, for example, Tom and Adcolony have a great platform to have both the awareness and then the hard KPIs and the performance KPIs. The other way of it is areas like gaming commerce that I believe in the next few years will become a very important topic. I believe the next Shopify will be inside a game, as gaming moves from just a game to a platform. Fortnite is a social media platform. You chat with your friends, you also do commerce inside. And the other way to look at it is activations outside of the game, where gaming is just the beginning of a funnel to activation happening in other platforms, and gaming having a strong impact on that. There's a lot of work we're doing in Anzu around attribution in user journey and connecting those environments. But I'll just give maybe one point to summarize here, as gaming will be treated as part of the marketing and strategy mix, and not as like an extension to existing platforms. That's where gaming will start to maximize its opportunity.
Brilliant. Within the marketing mix, big plan and the role of gaming in that. Tom,
So
did you?
Oh, sorry. So great. I mean, great points by Itamar. I'm just going to build on a couple of things that he touched on. Reasons that brands really need to invest in gaming. It's not something that they can sleep on. So I think the first thing is that idea that Itamar introduced of gaming as the platform. So, in the same way that the internet ate traditional media, and then, 10, 15 years ago, the social media ate the internet, I think what we will see is gaming eating social media and gaming becoming the platform. We'll all be hanging out in the metaverse, chilling with our friends, playing a game, but also other experiences, visiting art galleries, watching movies, buying things. Gaming and the metaverse by extension becomes the platform. And I think there's something there around generational irrelevance. And it's what a lot of brands are waking up to, especially in luxury. We're seeing this, is that this new generation who, gaming is their core media activity. for Gen Zs. That's what they do. They do it almost more than social media. And if you don't get involved in gaming, then you're risking that kind of generational irrelevance. And as gaming becomes the platform, you miss all of that. So, I mean, it's absolutely fundamental at the kind of the macro that brands get involved. I think some more tactical ideas, and Itamar was talking about the formats there. I think there are two lovely formats in gaming. I think the first one is value exchange advertising, so rewarded video. Consumers are increasingly annoyed at the volume of video ads that they're exposed to on YouTube, on Facebook. Value exchange rewarded video advertising is within a game, and it offers consumers a choice. They can either pay to get an item upgrade, or they can watch a video and get it for free. So it's choice, it's open, it's transparent, it's very 21st century, because you have that consumer choice. So that's a much nicer experience. And what we see off that is much higher brand equity being created, because rather than irritating people by pushing ads in their face, you're giving them a choice. And that absolutely applies to the Anzu format as well, Anzu platform, blended in-game advertising. I mean, you're talking about ads that appear like out-of-home posters within games. It works the same as out-of-home in that, it drives incredible brand outcomes, but from a consumer perspective, it's much more respectful of their time and of their experience. So I think in gaming, there's some really good tactical reasons why you should be using it rather than Facebook or YouTube, as an example.
Perfect. In fact, I did see some of the Anzu work with Pepsi and Vodafone, so I agree with you. I did want to, get some use cases on incremental numbers that can come from gaming. Either of you can take it. Just one. I want only one of you to answer this, so just raise your hand who's going after it. But incremental ad sales. So I think, Tom, you're up. Incremental ad sales that can come if you've invested in gaming versus all the other digital platforms.
Incremental ad sales. I mean, what we see uplifts of somewhere around 10% when we run brand studies versus a standard benchmark for that brand. So it's definitely, great brand building activity. We've seen campaigns where we're driving sales lifts of anywhere between 5 and 15% from gaming. So there's definitely that incremental outcome.
Brilliant. Unfortunately, this is going to be my last question because we are striped for time. I have to apologize, both of you, but you were quick in your answer, so I did cover a lot of ground. We will have a good story from this. Last question, however, Tom, it's alluding to what we discussed over email. Also, what you just said, of course, brands have to be on gaming so that they can tap on a new generation that's coming up. However, a lot of studies do show that there is older generation that is into gaming too. Yeah. Brands are still not buying into that concept. Now, what can be done to actually this mind shift that's needed? That gaming is not just for that teenager sitting in front of his system after he was back from school or college or wherever. What can we do to change that?
What can we do to change it? I mean, I think brands are beginning to mine that insight around what consumers are doing and where they're spending their time, and I think brands are beginning to switch on to what the data is telling them. But I mean, I'll keep this one short because I'm sure Itamar's got some good stuff to say as well. But for me, it's just fundamentally look at the data. It will tell you that your audience is in gaming. High net worth individuals are more likely to have a mobile game on their device than the average person. Mums are one of the biggest audiences we reach via mobile gaming. So, it's just look at the data. It's really, really easy.
Itamar.
Yeah, I mean, first, we got really good progress as an industry in the last few years. COVID was really important. People are locked at home. They play more video games. There is no out of home interaction. So gaming got to the main seat, and things continued in that direction, even as COVID is now getting a bit lighter. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of the advertising companies are starting to realize the opportunity in gaming. Most of the agencies and holding groups are building a gaming practice. Most of the advertising technologies are building solutions dedicated for gaming. So Tom and myself are preaching for advertising in games in the last 4 years, and it's getting better. What, as an industry, we still need to do, there is a lot to do. There is a lot of brands and agencies and publishers that still need this, baby steps to get progress, that still need to put more attention on this. I believe, in one word, what we need is time, because as Tom said, the data is very positive. Every day there is something new happening in the gaming. A lot of brands are coming from fear. As their competitors are doing something, then they understand they need to do something themselves. So as time passes and we continue in these trends, it will be significantly better. I mean, from an Anzu point of view, the fact that WPP, the biggest advertising group in the world, invested in Anzu, in a gaming platform, it's their first ever gaming investment. And Sony, the owner of PlayStation, did their first ever investment in Anzu in advertising. Just one point of how the big players are picking this up.
Yes, also a point on how well Anzu is doing, isn't it, Tom? Let's just be happy for this boy. But I'm going to wrap this up with just a quick takeaway for our audience, which is ROI. Everybody, right in the beginning, it's established gaming will give you ROI. So, and it controls fraud. Now, that's probably a huge crime in its own, in the numbers that's happening in advertising. But fraud, apart from that, we have looked at how gaming will continue to be immersive and a good experience. Lots of points have actually come out. I was especially intrigued about the integration of commerce that can happen in gaming, because that's really future looking and future forward. Brand equity, when you do it right, you can build brand equity, enhance brand loyalty. The numbers indicate people across, as soon as we had mobile in our hands, actually, across age groups are gaming. You have to find the game that works for your audience. With that, I just want to thank both these people again. 10% up on an investment is not a small number, it's top at. So, don't dilly-dally, just look at how you can look at gaming or gamification to reach out to your audiences.